Hey guys, the other day I was in Primark and I saw that they really worked on their makeup collection and their makeup stuff they're selling. And they also now sell a lot of these makeup sponges, like a lot of them. And I decided to buy a few of them in all kinds of shapes and sizes and try them out and see if they're worth it. Now I saw Wayne Goss talk about the tiny ones. I think it were these or these tiny ones. I don't know if they're the same. And he was saying that they're just as good as the Beautyblender, just a lot cheaper. Now most of these makeup sponges retail for about $3.50 or €2, which is awesome. I've tested so many Beautyblender like sponges in my life and most of them come from the drugstore and they don't work at all. They're shit. The only two that work for me are the Beautyblender and the complexion sponge, or this is the Real Techniques ones. But yeah, because they have so many of them, I just thought, you know what, I have to try them and see if they work. So yeah, I'm just gonna try all of them out by applying my foundation with them and my concealer, and let's see which ones are worth to buy and which ones are not. Okay, so I'm going to start with these. This whole pack was €3.50. Now you get two smaller ones, a bigger one and a really tiny one. And these really look like the Real Beautyblender. So the shape of it and you know, Beautyblender is as colorful as these are. So I'm gonna soak them in water, get them really wet, and then try them with my foundation. The foundation I'm using is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. See how they apply. Okay, so I got them wet. They did expand in size. I think they got a lot bigger. Let me take the dry one out. See? This is a dry orange one and then a wet orange one. You can see it really grew. But that's the thing it is supposed to do. This one is pretty hard though, so I'm thinking this one is not gonna work. This one is really soft. It reminds me of the Real Techniques sponge and this one as well. So I have good hopes for these two. But let's start with this one. Just going to take some foundation. And just dab it on. This thing is really hard and it's not enjoyable because it feels like I'm hurting my face. It did, however, work the foundation into the skin, but it also took away the coverage because I can still see the redness of this spot right here. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it took away the coverage, which I'm not really a big fan of. Plus, it's so hard. Let's try the area under my eyes. I feel like this way you're just using a lot of foundation without any actual result. Let's try the orange one. Oh, this feels a lot better on the skin. It's nice and soft and exactly like the Real Techniques sponge. I wouldn't necessarily say like the Beautyblender, because the Beautyblender really feels like a sponge and the Real Technique ones kind of feel different. Again, it did take away a little bit of the coverage. That's why I don't really like to use a Beautyblender for my foundation, but for the sake of this test. But it does the work, and it does what it's supposed to do. I'm gonna take the mini yellow one. Oh, I love how the tiny one works. Again, just like the Miracle Complexion Sponge by Real Techniques. Yeah. And I also feel like the coverage is a little bit better than on this side, but it could be because I put a little bit more foundation on. Let's turn. But wow, I'm really impressed by this one. It does a flawless job. But I have to say, it does soak up the product. But a regular beauty blender does that as well. It does give you flawless finish, but it soaks up product as well. These three, I love the orange one and the yellow one. The yellow one is my favorite so far. But the pink one, no, I wouldn't do it for the pink one. The pink one is very hard. It does the job, but it's also like you're giving your face a new structure by hitting it so hard with the pink one. So, nah, the pink one is not good, but these two are great. Now I want to try this one. These weird shapes. These were €2 in the pack. Let's see. Oh, they feel kind of hard, kind of rubbery. I got my foundation all over them. Don't mind that. They were clean. But this is what these looks like. I love the shapes. This one, awesome shape, like for underneath the eyes and also patting on the foundation. This one is a little bit different. You can still pat it on, but I prefer this shape over this shape. But again, the pointiness and the whole round bottom is awesome. So I'm gonna soak these in water as well, get them really wet, like they're supposed to, and then I'll be back to apply a little bit more foundation. Okay, so I got these two really wet, and they're still kind of hard to me, like the pink one. Well, the pink one is harder, but you know, I still gotta give it a try. So I am going to apply some foundation to the forehead. So I'm gonna start with my favorite shape, this one, on this side of my forehead. Still, I think it's way too hard. The sponge shouldn't be this hard. It's way too firm. And it doesn't feel good. It does the job, however. It does the job. But why is it so firm? I don't get it. Yeah, I also think it soaks up way too much of the product. Let's try this one. This one feels a bit softer now. Or is it just because I haven't held it yet? So let's see. Again, really firm. It doesn't feel nice to beat your face with something this firm. But the shape is great. I don't know, the foundation disappeared. It doesn't look bad, but I don't see the foundation either. But this is a great foundation. Ooh, it has a really strong scent. A latex scent. But no, I wouldn't recommend these either. They're way too firm. They soak up the product. They do the job, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's nice, especially for underneath the eyes. But the other ones are softer, you know, so I would go for the soft ones. They're not that bad, but they're way too firm, so it's not really comfortable on the face. So yeah, not a fan of these either. We still have the one with the holder, which is a nice idea, the holder. Feels nice. The only thing is some of these stones fell off. I just put it back and now just the other one, but that's not necessary. But I think it's a nice idea. I thought it was a bracelet, but it really is a holder. Funny, right? Yeah. But the sponge, that is what we're worried about. This one is kind of firm as well, not as soft as the ones that I really liked. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely a firm one. So I wet the sponge and it's now a firm black ball. That is what it feels like. Not comfortable at all, but we're gonna give it a try. And let's see how this one blends it out. Oh, I don't like this smell at all. Kind of like burnt rubber. So I'm guessing this one is not latex free. It didn't do a terrible job. It's just not comfortable because it's really, really firm. So it's really too hard. I don't know why they make them this hard. Why not make them as soft as these? So the black one, way too firm, just like the pink one. Nah. Now this one feels promising, really soft. So let's see, this one was $2.50 and the one with the holder was €3. This one is interesting. It has a flat side on the top and then a flat side on the bottom. So I guess it's great for this as well. And because it has this really weird bridge, it's easier to hold on to. So I think I'll like this one. Okay, so I got this one. It expanded quite a lot, like damn! It's just like me after dinner. So let's see. This looks ridiculous, I know. And I love how this one feels. Ooh. This one feels exactly like the Real Technique sponge as well. Okay. So, yeah, love this one. Love this one. The shape is a little bit odd, but it's nice to hold it like this. But it was better if it would be just a ball with a flat side, I guess. I don't know. They could have made two separate balls, but whatever. You know, it works great like this. Love it. Yeah, so this one is awesome. Yeah, this one just feels like the wedges. So I guess they'll do the same thing. They're really nice and soft though, but why would you? I'll bake with these. Next I'm gonna try these three. Look at these tiny little nuggets. These were €3, which makes them quite expensive because let's say the 4 big ones or bigger ones were $3.50. So okay, so I wet them all, and this one is still a little bit firm. It grew. Look at that little chubby face. And then these two, this one is really nice and soft, just like the yellow one, or maybe a little bit firmer, but that could be a good thing. So I'm just gonna apply my concealer and see how they work. Now let's blend it out. I'm gonna start with the round one. Oh, this doesn't feel that firm at all. It actually feels nice. Ooh, and I think it blended it out beautifully. It does thin out the product like all the other ones. Now I'm gonna go for the orange one for the mouth area. I don't like the orange one all that much. Doesn't really blend well. So, meh. Not a big fan of the orange one. Then the promised one, the little green one. Ooh, I like this one. I like what this one did here. Oh, it does work great for creams. And I love this size for blending out the contour. Oh, that blended out awesome. I don't know how I feel about this one. This one might work better for liquid. But in the end, it did a great job. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna bake with the Christmas tree. I feel like the Christmas tree has the right shape to bake. And boom. I really like this one as well. They're really nice and soft. Like normal sponge wedges you would get. And I bet they work great wet as well. They're so nice and soft. This one is overall great to apply powder, I think. It's nice, it's soft, doesn't absorb anything. Just gonna finish the rest and I'll be right back. Okay, so I finished my makeup and I tried all the sponges that I got. And here's my verdict. First, the one with the holder. The holder is quite a nice idea. The only thing is, it was broken. It was broken. These things fell off, so you know, that's a shame. Other than that, it's a nice idea. Don't really care for the black sponge. I think it's way too firm. I don't like that. It does do the blending, it absorbs products, but I feel like all of the sponges we use absorbs the product. They just give a flawless complexion, but I don't get why you would use a sponge this firm. It's not comfortable. It's not comfortable at all. So this one doesn't work for me, and this set was €3, so I wouldn't go for this one. Then let's see, these two also way too firm, but it did blend out the foundation great. I love this one a little bit more than that one, but you know, I'm not that sold on them, but they're okay. They're okay. I wouldn't buy them again though. No. And these were, let's see, I think €2. These were €2, so €1 each. Then another one I didn't like was the pink one that came in the package with this one, 2 of the orange one and 1 of the yellow one. Now the orange and the yellow one are awesome. These are really soft, blend out great, feels great on the skin. Awesome, awesome buy. And you actually get 2 orange ones, so that is great as well for $3.50. The pink one I would toss, just like the black one. It's way too firm, and that, you know, it doesn't serve any purpose to be this firm for a beauty blender sponge. But yeah, the orange and the yellow one is awesome, and if you're gonna get the pack, get them for these 3 sponges because these are awesome. Then the tiny ones were €3. I didn't really care for the tiny ones. I liked these 2 better. And this one is tiny enough. You don't need them that tiny. But the green one is the best one. Orange one is okay. I felt like the orange one worked great for blending cream products. This one is also great for liquid products. Cream, but I don't know. I really don't care for this pack. this one was the best, but I don't really care for this pack since you get more awesomeness in the other pack. And then the last sponge, the big one, this one is awesome. It's shaped a little bit awkwardly, you know, why so big? But I guess it's great for body makeup. And I like the flat edges, and you can always squeeze it and work it in the ways you need it to work. So, you know, the structure is awesome. This one also reminds me of the Real Techniques sponge. None of them actually remind me of the Beautyblender sponge, because the Beautyblender sponge, if you've used both, you know that the structure of the sponges are kind of different. But this one is awesome. This one works. So I would say my favorites are these four. Yeah, these four I would say. Like the green one from the tiny pack, these two from the 4-pack with the awful pink sponge, and on this one comes alone, and the big one is $2.50. $2.50. You know what? You can just buy the $2.50 one and you'll be set. It works. You know, and it isn't that big of a waste because the real Beautyblender is about 20 euros, which is actually ridiculous for a sponge, right? But it works. It works great, so people buy it. I bought it. I have like 3 or 4 of them. But another great dupe for that is the Real Techniques sponge. That one is 7 or 8 euros. But these are actually cheaper and they work great as well. So if you're on a budget and you need great sponges, try these out.